Hey guys, I'm back with another video. I want to talk about how nicotine ruins your life. And again, this is from experience. And if you're currently vaping or smoking a cigarette while watching this video, I want you to know that you should probably quit. So, this is my 40th attempt, but I got this. I talk about how nicotine ruins your life. And before I get started, before I start this video, if you don't want to hear talks about depression or any form of um any heavy topic, click away now. Without said, let's get started. So, how nicotine works is when you vape it or smoke it, or it's usually vaped and smoked. Zins aren't popular. Let's be aware here. Any pouch is unpopular. So if it's a pouch to any form of nicotine, it goes to your brain quickly. It gives you a quick, brief high, and then since your body quickly detox it from your system, the high ends. It ends quickly. The peak is quick and it ends quickly, and that's why your brain craves more and more. That's why you gotta keep tapping off your vape, and you gotta keep smoking cigarettes, or you gotta keep popping those zins, because the come down is so fast that that's where the addiction happens. Your brain quickly adapts. Oh wait, I like that feeling, and you take another puff, you take another hit, you're good. So I'm gonna talk about the health side effects from experience that happened, and then why you should not try it or quit it. So one thing for sure is it gives you shortness of breath. I don't know how smokers or vapors. I don't know how they can. I don't know how people who vape or smoke. I don't know how they can work out, because it lowers your ability. It lowers your exercise performance. For example, shortness of breath, um, and it damages your lungs and your windpipe, and you always coughing up loogies. Like, you're always coughing, because when you're not doing it, your body's coughing and it's detoxing. And then you light up another cigarette, or you puff your vape, or you pop another zin. Cigarettes, zins, or vapes are the most popular. Not the chewing tobacco shit. No, don't do that. But besides the point is, so when nicotine's inhaled, it goes into your lungs and it goes into your system. It reaches to your brain quickly. The high, the peak, the peak is quick, and it lowers quickly. So that's why you crave more and more, because the high is brief and it's clean, and you crave more and more because you that's how the addiction starts. You start out with one puff so often, and then you go, "Oh, I like this feeling," and it's also heart disease. It escalates your heart rate a lot. So basically, you have adrenaline, and basically every time you puff that vape, puff that cigarette, or pop that zin, you're always in fight or flight. You're in flight or flight. So basically, what flight or flight is where it, it it quickens your heart rate, and that feeling goes away fast. So there, because your body detoxes nicotine from your system quickly, and basically what because the dopamine is short lived. That's why you crave more and more. That's why people can go through a pack of cigarettes or a vape every week, because you crave more and more. The more you do, the more you need for that high and stuff. And when I'm gonna talk about what I dealt with before I quit my 40th attempt, I got this. Number one is shortness of breath and coughing all the time. So basically, shortness of breath. So, ni- so basically, my lungs were being harmed. My lungs are not healthy. Actually, they're healthier. They're healing because I only did it for 6 months. So one, I was buying a vape every other week because the more you use it, the more receptors you have in your brain, the more you need for that hit. It it's like every drug out there. It's like heroin. It's like fentanyl. It's like nose candy or whatever, right? Um, the like every single drug in the world, including nicotine. In this case, I had nicotine. Nicotine was my addiction of choice, but I realized that so the withdrawals you get. I'm gonna talk about that. So one, the high is the feeling is quick and short because your body gets rid of nicotine fast. Two, you frequently go to the bathroom a lot because your body's detoxing it from your system because it's a poison. Three, um, I was stressed, I was depressed all the time, I was anxious all the time, and truth be told, I was fucking depressed AF. I'm still depressed, but now that I've not been doing it now I've not done it for 2 days. I realize that I don't want to go back to it. I don't want to go back to this shit. So the withdrawals that come with it when you decide to quit is headache, cravings, irritability, and anxious. When yesterday I was so anxious, I didn't know if I could do my job. But now before I fully quit, I would vape when I get home. I would vape after work. But I realized that I have an autoimmune disease, an autoimmune disorder, and I realized that makes autoimmune diseases worse. So, so my side effects, I had shortness of breath. My heart would hurt every time I would take a hit. It hurts your heart. So I know I don't have heart disease, but every time I would hit my vape, my heart would hurt. Like my heart would be hurting afterwards because it speeds up your heart rate, not in a healthy manner. When you go for a run or for a jog, when your heart rate, spikes, that's healthy because when your heart rate increases with nicotine, it's not healthy. So basically, long story short, is yesterday I had such a bad headache that I vomited. I feel like that was my wake up call that nicotine is bad for you. Because even though I only done it for 6 months, and that's why I quit. I only did it for 5 or 6 months. Usually, usually if you don't do it for a year or more, your body can heal from it. My body's healing, so don't worry. But the withdrawal effects, the only withdrawals I have right now is headache, and I hate the headaches. But keep in mind, I rather deal with the headache and cravings than go back to it. Every headache I get, all the headaches I get, and all the cravings I get, my body's healing. And the reason why I quit because one, it was making me more anxious and it was making me more depressed and anxious. It was causing my psoriasis to flare up. It was causing it was causing a it was making it was causing a bad it was making a bad it was impacting my relationship with my parents. I live with my parents, and it was making them. It was basically the vaping that I did. It was causing a bad relationship with my parents, and basically all the time I vaped, I was like, man, this is great. I feel good. But now when I look back on it, I'm like, why did I do this? As I go through the withdrawals, the only withdrawal I have is headache. The reason why I'm not dying because I take Meg, I take Aleve or I take headache relievers for the headache. So I just play it off. I just play off the withdrawal symptom to my dad, to my mom and dad too. It's just allergies. I don't, we both know it's not allergies because I vaped for 6 months and it's from the vaping. It's a nicotine withdrawal. Um, keep in mind keep in mind, my close aunt has is smokes. I don't think she quit, but she told me I inspired her to quit. So I was telling my aunt that I'm planning on quitting vaping, and she's like, "Man, I inspired you." She said, "Oh, grape soda. I inspired you from grape soda. I inspired you from." I don't think she quit. Let's be real here. If you've been doing nicotine for a certain amount of time, I don't. My dependence is not there. If I wanted to, I would go to the vape shop and I would get another one. But my desire to vape is not there, and that's why I rather go through the withdrawals than do it anymore. The reason I'm tackling the issue of nicotine because during that time I was not. The reason why I never uploaded for prolonged period of time because I was unmotivated to do videos. Oh yeah, the biggest kicker about nicotine is it lowers your ability. It lowers your ability to be motivated. 2 days in, my 40th try, my 40th attempt, and I feel good. So I got rid of my vape Sunday night, and I'm just going through the week normally. And yes, the withdrawals are temporary, but they're so the nicotine withdrawals, as far as that goes, if you've been doing it for a while, I've been doing it for 6 months. I got no cravings. The only thing I got is a headache. So when I wake up, before the headache, erupts out of unbearable, when I get up, I take a headache reliever, I drink coffee, and I go to my job. I go to work. And what I used to do, I used to wake up, I used to hit my vape, and then I used to vape for 30 minutes before I even got ready. Now, my new routine is I get up, I get I get dressed for work, and then I go to work at 8. There's some days where I don't go to work at 8, I don't leave at 8, so it is what hiccups don't yes, I do have hiccups and I've been keeping them at bay. So if you hear me deep breathing from time to time, it's just me trying to prevent my hiccups from regressing. So basically, long story short, the reason why nicotine ruins your life, one, it's a nuisance. It's a nuisance to your family members who don't do it. So, for example, my close aunt smokes, and she has friends who smoke or vape. It's a vicious cycle because when you go to sleep, your body detoxes, and then you're in a state of withdrawal. And when you withdraw from nicotine, you want more. Like, and this time, I'm ready to give it up because instead of waking up and vaping, I wake up, I get my ass out of bed, I get my coffee, and if I have a headache, I have a headache reliever. So by day 4, I should not have a headache. The first 3 days, the headache peaks because your body is saying, "I need nicotine." I'm like, I don't need nicotine. Like your body is not designed. Fun fact about nicotine: tobacco before people smoked tobacco or did nicotine together. Nicotine is a poison. So every time, the reason why it leaves your body quickly, because our body is not designed to do drugs. Our bodies are not designed our bodies are not designed to do nicotine. It's not designed for that. Our bodies are not designed to smoke, vape, or do any nicotine product. Our bodies are not able to handle that. So every time people smoke tobacco or vape nicotine or do pouches, just remember that it's not worth it. It takes 3 days for your body to rid of the. So also your body has a byproduct called choline or something like that. Choline, and it's a byproduct of nicotine. That itself is not harmful to your body, but every time a cigarette smoker or a vapor, every time the reason they gotta go to the bathroom, every time I hit it because your body's excreting it from your body. And the only way your body can fully detox is if you quit altogether, which I have, my 40th attempt. And Sunday night, I got rid of my vape. I got rid of my vape, and I threw my vape out on Sunday night because Monday is trash day. And basically, my mom is like, "Why you been out? Why you out this late at night?" Because my mom. So my parents have notifications blasting. Has My dad has his notifications blasting. So basically, my dad has notifications. Let me pause that. So basically, my mom has. Alrighty. Let me pause that because I don't want to get demonetized for having people's videos. So as I was saying before I accidentally unpaused my TV, I usually watch YouTube nowadays. So the reason why nicotine is so poisonous to your body because it raises your heart rate, it harms your lungs, and basically you're prone to heart disease. Heart disease runs my mom's side of the family, so that's why I quit. That's why I quit before a year. My breathing is my breathe. It's easier to breathe. My heart rate's not through the roof, and my mindset was I go home and vape. I don't do it anymore because my body needs to fully detox. Yes, I'll have a headache. I'll have a headache. I'll have a slight headache, but that means my body's healing. The only withdrawal symptom I have is a headache. I don't have cravings. I don't want it anymore. So people who quit after years of smoking or vaping, they get cravings because your body it rewires your brain. So nicotine it rewires your brain. Like any other drug I mentioned earlier, it's like it's like any other drug. You 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 ingest it, you get the euphoric feeling. Also, I noticed that I'm not fatigued today like I was yesterday because when you quit, you get fatigued because you're missing your daily hits. So I did well know that my aunt did not quit smoking because she told me I inspired her to quit, but I don't think she, I don't think she quit. So yeah, I don't think she quit. Um, without said, also the downside of quitting nicotine is when all the cravings and all the withdrawals are over, is you crave it for the rest of your life. So my mom and dad used to smoke and they quit, and they still get cravings. Like even if you quit, let's say you're addicted to nose candy. I'm gonna call it that because I don't want to say the actual thing. Let's say you're addicted to that, and all of a sudden you go to rehab, you stop, and then you still get cravings. When people go to rehab for stuff like that, you still crave it. Since I quit nicotine, once all the withdrawal symptoms go away, I'm still gonna crave it. The cravings never go away because so if my aunt finally stops smoking, then if my aunt stops smoking, then she's gonna crave it for the rest of her life, like I have. My uncle Steve is gonna crave it for. So the only way you don't experience these cravings is if you don't do it at all. Even though my big brother hit my vape accidentally, he can still crave it after that one time. So without said, if you, in conclusion, don't do nicotine because it's gonna ruin your life. Also, an average vape costs $30 a pop or more. So basically, every week that I'm abstaining, I'm saving money. So after this week, I saved $30. Next week I'll save $60. I'll be saving about $1,000 per year actually. So instead of spending money on the vapes, I spend money on CDs. So yeah, if you're currently vaping or smoking watching this video, this is either you quit now before you have chronic lung disease and stuff like that, or emphysema or whatnot. With that said, I'm going to this video here, like and subscribe. And if this video has made you consider quitting vaping or smoking or any form of nicotine, let me know down in the comments below. With that said, I'm going to end this video here. Subscribe for more the next time I upload. And with that said, see you later.